Hey, what is going on? So today I'm going to be talking about my latest bike that I've acquired. It is what I call the Costco Blur, but it's really the Intense 951XC bike that is at Costco right now. If you're watching this as of March 1st of 2024, the bike's on sale. Retails on Costco.com for $2,800. But this bike is $1,000 off right now, so this bike can be had. Well, for me, I paid $1,981 and some cents because of Washington State sales tax. But let's go over the bike. It's really cool. I'm impressed with the bike completely for the price. Number one, I think these are ODI grips, but Intense branded. As you can see here, they're lock-on grips. You just take a 3mm bolt. Up front, the handlebar is an Intense branded handlebar. It's aluminum. It's or it's alloy, whatever. 760mm wide. Excuse me. What's really nice about it is, normally I like my setups like 720mm wide tires, or I mean handlebars. And I was intending to cut these down, but sitting on this bike, it works really nice. It's super comfortable. I didn't feel too wide on it, and it might be because of the cockpit setup on here. This is a size medium bike, as you can see here. I'm about 5'7", and you know, I've got a 30-inch leg inseam. This bike fits really nice. What's impressive about it here is it comes with already installed a dropper post. This is, if you're running a size medium or large, it's a 150 mil travel dropper post, and you get a nice dropper lever here. And I mean, you know, if you're gonna do any of the stuff like set up yourself, I mean, I really appreciate these guides. If you're, you know, new to doing your own work on your bike, setting it up, this is really nice, like awesome. Brake wise, this runs TRP Slate T4s. It's basically, you know, 4-piston brakes front and rear, which is awesome. They have, you know, like, I'm a Magura guy. What was impressive is how well these brakes, they feel like they were broken in, you know, right out of the box. Like, this bike is literally ready to go. There's very little prep you have to do. The rotor here is a 180 and it's a 160 in the back. Weight wise, you're talking about roughly about a 28-pound bike. In the box, you're gonna get tubeless sealant, or what they call the E13 plasma. This does have tubes like installed, but if you watch Intense's video, you can follow the video guide for assembly and even setting up tubeless on here, because in their package, or in the box, it also includes valve stems. So you can just do that. You can take out these tubes, put in your valve stems, unbead one side of the tire per the video instructions, drop in, literally without a syringe, you just, while the tire's unbeaded, drop in all your E13 plasma, one bottle of it, close it back up, shake it, you know, air it up, tap it around, and it should be good to go. These are WTB STI 27, meaning that it's a 27mm wide rim internally. These are the Kenda Regolith tires that are 29 by 2.2. You know, I want to say they're more of an aggressive cross-country tire. You know, it's nice that there isn't a brace here, because sometimes it just eats into your traveling clearance. But as you can tell, clearance wise, I have a small hand, and that's how much space like I get on either side. So I think if you're gonna think about running a wider tire, it's going to be really tight. So you probably have to, I think 2.25s is going to be your max probably. But I don't know. I have some Vittoria mezcals and I'd like to see, but you know, the bike feels perfect. I put a lot of bikes together, but this feels perfect. Like, I don't feel like I need to upgrade anything. Nothing feels subpar about this, even though it is SRAM NX. And so on the drivetrain side, this is a 32 tooth SRAM chainring, this is a 175 mil length crank arm. If you're running small, it will be a 170 mil length crank arm. And in the back, it's an 1150 out back for a SRAM NX cassette, I'm pretty sure. And then a SRAM NX like rear derailleur. This is a 1x12 setup. This is such a great bike for the price. Material, carbon fiber rear triangle, carbon front triangle. You know, the links are carbon. I'm just impressed with the bike. Rear shock, you get a Fox float in the back, and then a Fox 34 up front. And then that is the spec right there. You get the, of course, it's a 29 or 275 plus fork. It's 120 millimeters of travel front and rear. You get rebound adjust here, and your 3 settings here. It's not remote lockout, but reaching it from your seat isn't, or seat or saddle isn't that big of a deal. Same here, not remote lockout, but really easy to move around. Feels nice. Your rebound adjust is down here. And what's nice is Intense in the box, I'm going to show you in pretty soon. It has the guide for, it has a manual for the fork and the rear shock and the dropper and the bike as a whole. It's impressive. And cool, they went with a good quality Cane Creek headset, tapered headset up front. And this is a physique saddle. What makes me impressed is this looks like it's a kind of narrow saddle, but it's actually, I measured it, it's 142 millimeters wide, which works out for me because that is my preferred sit bone width, or I mean, for my sit bones, about 142, 145, you know, plus is going to be like my preferred thing. So I'm glad that I don't have to swap out the saddle, and it's pretty comfortable. Like I took it out for a spin. Really nice. So when you get your bike, they're going to include like a water bottle, as you can see here, and 2 water bottle cages. This, as you can tell, is pretty secure. Another water bottle bolts here, so if you want to catch the mud on your other bottle, I guess it's for beats drinking out of a river, but you know, if need be, who knows. But this is a great bike. I am super impressed. Even the bottom bracket just feels pretty nice. Like I'm happy with this purchase. Like I've purchased a lot of bikes in my lifetime that have been shipped to me out of the box. I didn't have to readjust the calipers because there's disc brake rub. The wheel, or I mean the shifting was on point as soon as I installed the rear wheel. You will have to bolt on your own rear derailleur, so make sure you follow the instructional video on that. The spacing is, and it tells you on the hub, boost 148. Some people might find that cheesy, but whatever. And then it's boost 110 up front. The way this rear axle works is, don't go crazy on this. This is plastic, so I think if you went too crazy, you're gonna break this, and you're gonna be using a screwdriver or something to take this out. But basically, you thread it in, or you know, you just work it that way when you need to take out the rear wheel, and it tucks right back in. And I mean, it's really nice. The pivot bolts are all, they give you all the torque settings on here. I wish a lot of other bike companies caught on to doing that. But anyway, I threw on my own pedals, but my plan is I will get some P&W pedals for this bike. Other things you gotta kind of be cognizant about is, you know, just make sure you clean all this stuff off. Like I'm planning to give this a rinse. You know, I just did a ride, so you know, it's been such a, but I also want to get this video out before it starts dumping rain and snow pretty soon. But yeah, this Intense 951 XC bike is a fantastic purchase. I think it's great for somebody who wants to get into mountain biking. They don't want to lug around a 30+ pound bike. They want something a little lighter. They don't need all the craziest travel, because you're not going to be like, I was taking it off some 4-foot drops and stuff, and it handles it real well. Stay tuned for my shredded edit video and my ride along video. I'll do those. But overall, cool bike. I love this bike. Definitely, out of dozens of bikes that I own, this will go down as like my top 3 favorite bikes. The GT Zascar Carbon Pro being my favorite bike of all time, and then the GT LTS Sensor being right with it, and then this bike. But the lightest bikes, this is the Zascar Carbon Pro, and then this bike, and then my GT LTS Sensor. So you know, I mean, I'm impressed Intense put together a really nice package for the consumer. You know, I mean, I know they sell these at bike shops too. Like I have a friend who has a bike shop, and he sells Intense, and he offers this bike, not for $1,000 off, but you know, whatever. And so if you're interested in getting this bike, I can't say enough. I think it's one of the greatest purchases you can make. As you upgrade the bike, I'm sure you can drop this down to well below 25 pounds. So that is it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If you want to talk shop about this bike, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Glad to always talk. Anyway, let me connect the tripod and let's go over the owner's manual, or all the goodies in the box that Intense sends you. All right, so let's go over the box. Intense gives you this when you buy the bike. Excuse me. And check this out. Comes in this really nice box, magnetic clap. It's really tidy. So what I love about this is a great bike if you're thinking, I'm not sponsored. I bought this by cash. There was no, like, this bike got loaned to me, or like I wanted one of these bikes. I call it the Costco Blur. But let's go over the owner's manuals that you get. So first thing is you get this owner's manual. Check this out. It says 2021. I bet that's just when the frame was designed, but it's still a great bike. Gives you how to set up the bike entirely. It's so cool with the torque wrench, all the tools you're going to get with it, tire sealant. And what I love is when you're assembling the bike, if you're new, you're not you've never assembled the bike yourself, and this is the first time you want to try it, these are nice step-by-step instructions. The other cool part that Intense does is they make a video too as well. Also really cool parts that I really respect and I really admire is you get the geo chart in here specifically for this bike. It's not for like 80 different models. And then it gives you the frame specs, the shock specs, the component list of this bike, how to access online manual. You know, if you're planning to do maintenance, it talks about how to take your carbon care, kind of your maintenance schedule for all this stuff. You know, every ride, 500 miles, 2,000, 4,000, you know, 1 month, 6 months, a year. I'm really super impressed. Let's say that you need to replace any of your parts, right? Intense gives you all the little parts numbers here, all tidy, really easy to follow and understand. I'm super impressed. You know, like and then if you decide to get all these different kits here, axle kit, bearing kit, flat guard kit, you know, hanger, blah blah blah, also here. I mean, really cool. And so you get that manual, then you get the torque wrench manual, little guide, and then you get the Fox fork guide here. Shows you how to set up your fork, the right pressures and rebound settings. You get the shock owner's guide by Fox. Same thing, rebound adjust. Oh, I should say the rear shock, you can adjust the rebound, and you can adjust you know, the firmness too. And then check this out. Intense gives you a dropper manual as well, user manual. What I enjoy is how they go over how you need to explain all this stuff or take care of all this stuff. If you're a DIY person, you're really going to appreciate like how they go over all these kinds of different instructions. Just really well thought out and tidy. Disassembly. So if when you take, it's that time to take care of your dropper, you know how to do that. Just awesome assembly. And if you need help, Intense has done a really good job, you know, also going over this. Like I'm really, as a DIY mechanic and a privateer bike racer, you know, there's stuff that I care about a lot and I pay attention to, and so it's nice to see this. So this is the Intense user manual supplement, and it's so check this out. It's like, it gives you the tools that you're gonna need when you're taking apart like the linkage and the rear shock and the pivots here, torque settings. Like it's really nice to have stuff like this, a resource. Definitely stuff you want to keep around for as long as you're gonna keep the bike, or sell it off and give it to somebody else, or sell it to somebody else. And this is just a general operating manual, like, oh, wear a helmet, stuff like that. So nothing exciting here, but obviously the legalities, right? But at least if you're a DIY, like, this is a great bike if you're looking for a nice cross-country bike to get in. You're gonna do amateur bike racing like I do and stuff, and you're a DIY mechanic, like you want to do most of your service yourself. Also really cool, So Intense packs you a shock pump right here. Let's take it out. I actually didn't take it out of the bag because I was waiting to do a video. I'm super, on a scale of 1 to 10, I love this bike on like a 15, like 15 being the highest. Like, I am super duper impressed with how well thought out the bike is, the quality. I don't know about longevity, so we'll see, but Intense branded stuff. Shock pump there, yoink. And of course, this is cool, like awesome. This is a torque wrench. Intense branded torque wrench right here. You know, you get your star, you know, your T25, I think T20, T25, T30 or something. You know, screwdriver, like just a really nice value to have. Like, it's a really nice tool set. Definitely a great torque wrench to have, you know, especially when you want to, if you're going to do your own stuff. And then here in this box, they give you the pedals. People always wonder why they're going to give you reflectors. I think it's I want to say it's a legal thing, but anyway, they give you the little hex keys and one for your T25 here, this silver piece. They give you carbon paste, and your valve stems are in here too. So and if you need reflectors or whatever, and stickers. So overall, like, such a really, I mean, I don't, there's just so much I'm really pleased with in a bike product. And you know, I hope Intense does this for their bike shops and stuff. You know, I'm a first-time Intense owner. A lot of you know that, you know, I'm a GT guy. I've been a GT guy for the longest time, but they don't make a new cross-country bike anymore. I've been racing on my 2018 GT Zascar Carbon Pro. You know, then I got the Cannondale as a backup, and this was on a, and I've always been entertaining this bike for the price. Just such a super good price. And I'm happy I bought it. Like, I can't wait to show a lot of you the ride-along video for this bike. It is such a cool bike. I'm gonna do a shredded edit. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm happy about this bike. On a 15, shout out to Intense for doing a bang-up job. I hope the durability, if the durability is great, I mean, this is gonna be such a super phenomenal bike. Out of dozens of bikes that I've owned, and I will definitely say, hang on, I just gotta lower that. But out of a lot of bikes that I do own, this is by far my top 3 favorite. My favorite, of course, being the GT Zascar Carbon Pro. I think it's kind of tied up with the GT LTS sensor, and then this bike. If you're wondering why I just don't try to lighten the weight on the GT LTS sensor, it's because it is a bit of it's more of a trail bike. Like, racing, competing on it for XC races, it's been pretty hard. It is a weighty bike. I mean, I'm a heavier dude too, but you know, like, this easily throws down really, really well. You know, I rode it today, pushed it like I would in any XC mountain bike race. It, of course, isn't going to climb as fast as my Cannondale FSI, and it's not going to climb as fast as my GT Zascar Carbon Pro, but it's a very comparable bike. And if I had a really rough trail where it's going to be super techy and less kind of where the advantage of a hardtail is not going to be there as much, I would totally choose this bike. I think my next upgrades, is throw some Spinergies on here. And of course, I love Magura brakes. That will happen, but I'm going to keep the bike completely as is. You know, I've got the Cannondale and the GT as my primary racers. I will probably rotate through my Wednesday night World Series, or my Wednesday night Worlds stuff. Maybe I'll race this at Port Gamble. I don't really know. I haven't decided yet because it's hilly. Like, I prefer to have like a efficient climbing bike. But if you have any questions about this bike, you know, or you're watching this as soon as it came out, because you're like, I wonder if anybody's put out any information about this Intense bike on sale, feel free to ask me any questions. Like, I'm glad. I will say I ordered this on a Wednesday. It got here on a Friday afternoon via UPS. I was able to assemble it 20 minutes later. Like, Intense did a great job packaging the bike. You're not going to be left with like tons of styrofoam or cardboard or anything like that. Or no, you will be left with cardboard, but it's all small pieces. It's not a big deal. You're just not going to be left. You're left with more recyclable material than you are garbage, which is also really cool. They did that. You know, you can recycle the bags, the plastic, which is, it only covers the grips, and then they have a film that covers this part because they obviously didn't want, or covering this down tube because they didn't want whatever they're attaching here to handlebar and stuff to, or the cardboard to even chip on that. So it's cool. I mean, whoever, Intense clearly put a lot of thought into making a good product that wasn't gonna be an entire sacrifice. You know, like for the money, it's just hard to justify. Like, and a regular sale price at $2,800, it's still a great deal. It's just that below $2,000, this is a steal. So anyway, that is it. I look out for my shredded edit on this bike. I just love it. Oh, I will say, sorry, I should have talked about this too. You do get 2 water bottle cages. The other one is, the other mount's underneath here. I'm trying to work my tripod and do this. The cage is pretty secure. Oh, whoops, sorry. I'm like focusing on my feet. The water bottle cage is pretty secure. That's what the cage looks like, or water bottle looks like. Pretty cool. And then snaps into place. It's real. Probably the most cool purchase one of the coolest purchases for a bike I've ever made. Like, you know. So anyway, that is it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me what's up. Happy to answer them or what have you. Anyway, you know, hopefully if you're thinking about getting a nice good price cross-country bike, especially if you're a parent shopping for your kid who's taking mountain biking serious and cross-country competition serious, like, don't thumb your nose at this bike just because it's sold at Costco. A lot of people on the bike forums are gonna be like, oh, it's at Costco, but you know, when you want a good quality bike, you know, like, I think this allows other people to have a nice quality bike at the same time. You know, like, I would knock on it. I mean, if the durability sucks, I'll obviously tell everybody like a year later from now when I do a long term. But such an awesome bike. I'm happy. How well put together, fit and finish, how organized and well put this bike is. So if you bought the bike, you know, hopefully you enjoy it just as much as I do. Stay tuned. I'll bang out more content, especially with this bike. It's awesome, and I will see you again next time. All right, bye.